Hi everyone, welcome back to Window Chats with Robyn, the Instagram Live podcast where I sit by my window and chat with very interesting people. It's available on YouTube, Spotify, oh my gosh, it's available in a lot of places. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. I will figure out this pitch eventually and I will be a pro. That's why I do it so often, so I can work on my pitch. Thank you all for indulging me. But today we have Mike. And oh my gosh, I don't remember the last time I've actually spoken to him. And what better place to catch up than on Instagram Live? I see he's here. I'm gonna invite him in. Here we go. This is my song now. That's how we roll. Da, 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 da. Maybe it's too early to dance, but I don't think so. Da, 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 da. And hopefully it works. Oh, hey. That was my Instagram Live dance to never be repeated ever again. How are you doing?
Good. How you been? Long time no see.
I know. I really, as I was promoting you the other day, I thought, when was the last time I've spoken to you? And I couldn't tell you.
I think it might have been like maybe Singular Sensations, like a year or two ago.
I see that. I see Singular Sensation. And isn't that like 2 years ago at this point? Because
oh God, I think so.
Oh, Shout out to Singular Sensations. They're doing some good stuff. They've moved online. They
are incredible, and I'm a huge fan of Jenny. And
isn't
like
it
all
Jenny's
she's
birthday
done.
today? Oh my gosh, I think so.
Oh, it is. Oh God, I don't know where.
Post. Okay, I'm only saying that because I think I saw a post before I went online, and if not, then sometime you will have a birthday, Jenny. Happy birthday.
Yeah, hey Jenny, I'm a huge fan. You know that, and just happy birthday. And all the best. I'm a big fan of your work. Keep it up.
Carol commented, glad you kept your curls. You have a very fashionable hairstyle right now.
Thanks to COVID, I wasn't able to get a proper haircut. The last time I did my hair, I just cleaned the sides up and let this grow. And I don't know, people seem to enjoy it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not mad. It's kind of like my old high school there, except I would straighten this out. So I'm glad I have this with curls instead.
You know what? It's very bouncy, the curl. It's
a little bit, yeah.
It's honestly, this is the part where I would ask what product you're using if I wanted the curl. Like what maintains the bounce? It's my girlfriend introduced me to this stuff there. I keep forgetting. I think it's Monet, I think it's called. But yeah, it's just a shampoo. It makes my hair fairly full, so I'm like, okay, cool. And just conditioner, and it does the trick. Simple. It sounds I wanted a complicated story. Like there's one store in all of Canada that sells this product. Just that whole, and it takes me 3 weeks to get it shipped.
Yeah. Well, it does take a while, but thankfully my girlfriend's the best. She just orders that for me, and then it's usually there by the time my bottle's done. So
good job,
huge shout out to Emily and Wilkinson. Give her a follow.
Oh,
she's also a voiceover actress as well. So.
Awesome. How did you guys meet? Can I ask that?
Yeah, I met. So I've been like good friends with her sister. I did a show with her sister 5 years ago, 6 years ago now. Oh my God. Doing American Idiot at the Laura Osborne Theater. And then fast forward 2019, she was hosting a party at a mutual friends, and then that's where I met her. And then, yeah, we just been chatting and hanging out ever since. We recently just moved in to our new place this past April. So,
congratulations! Ooh.
Yeah.
Moving during COVID, how was that?
It was a lot of challenges there. It's trying to find like the right place, and obviously we couldn't really visit a lot of places during this time because a lot of COVID things. So a lot of it was virtual. We were fortunate enough to be able to like visit this place, and we just immediately fell in love. I'm like, yep, this is it, perfect. And then like getting the truck ready, getting someone who could help us out was tough, but the move itself was actually smooth. It's just everything leading up was like stressful, as we all know, like getting things packed, organized, new bills set up. It was a time. But I'm
It's
glad
so,
that's
you know, when
over.
you pack stuff up and first off, you never realize how much stuff you have till you have to put it in boxes. And
Yeah.
then you have everything. There's so many weird memories I find that are attached to things that I haven't gotten rid of yet. Even as I'm cleaning, I'm like, I want to get rid of you, but I can't. And it's, I don't know.
Yes.
Did you full out minimize when you
Oh, I
moved?
had to. I had no choice there because like the last place I lived at, I was there for 5 years, and 5 years, like you don't think you collect a lot? Not the case, especially cleaning out my closet. A lot of memories came from there, like old costume pieces that I borrowed, uh, a lot of like scripts that I had, books, like
Oh, the
including,
scripts. What
yeah.
did you do with them? I got rid of some and I died on the inside. But
There's
I
some
know
like, well, most of it I'm like, okay, I'm gonna find a way to keep you, and then there's only like a couple shows like, okay, I don't need you anymore.
well, I mean, look, again, the hoarder inside of me, in a sense, the condensed version of like Fiddler on the Roof when it's not even the full story. I'm like, yeah, I guess I could get rid of that. But look at how cute my notes are. I was such an adorable little child.
Hmm.
So yeah, I did get rid of that one eventually, but there are a few scripts that you know what? I'm very fortunate that later on, I found people would send you the script via digital.
Hmm.
So that was, I'm like, I still have it, and that's cool. Maybe not
Yeah,
all my
and
notes, but I still have it, and then it's still a part of me. But yeah.
yeah, no, and thankfully too, like most of the shows I do, like I can get virtually now. But for a lot of them, like you said, like the little memories you have from like that, like my looking at my first professional like show there, I was just like, oh, I can't get rid of this. There's a lot of memories from that, like all the notes there, all the tracks I learned, and just it was a lot of work. I'm like, no, this will keep me kind of like I kept that obviously, but like some other ones, I'm like, ooh, you were kind of a interesting time. Okay.
That's so funny. Well, see, I wish I would have kept some of them from my childhood when I think I started doing theater at 6 or 7, and I would have loved to see
Mm,
my version of childhood notes or how I wrote stage directions. I didn't keep it because I was a child, and I don't even think I made a request to keep it. I didn't realize that I'd be sentimental in my old age, but it's those little. It's like, oh, how did
mm.
I feel the need to tell myself or to take direction and write it down? So I love that you're keeping some of them. That's fun.
Yeah. Well, I started when I was 14 in like grade 9, so I think it's 14. Like when I did
Yeah,
Godspell,
14.
I got cut from my hockey team, and then like my mom's favorite musical at the time was Godspell. I wasn't much of a musical theater person at that time. I was like, okay, I'll audition. Just I think my mom would like that a lot, and I still have that T-shirt in somewhere in my belongings. There is like a yellow tie-dye shirt with Lamar in the back with the name of the show. That was my costume. Surprisingly, it fits. I like the all the years and baggage and weight that I've gained for the last 16 years of my life. Like, I'm surprised it still fits me. I'm like,
Well,
what?
you say that. I think as a child I bought oversized shirts. In
Mm,
probably in the foresight, knowing that I would keep the shirts and wear them as an adult. I was just a very smart child like that. Slash, I liked the oversized shirts as a kid, so that's probably what happened. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I was almost the same as well because I didn't like to wear things that was like super well fitted in comparison to like now. And I guess that
Yeah,
might
now
be a
you got to
reason
show
there.
off the physique. Like, hey guys, this is my body. What?
Yeah, look at this. I am,
You're welcome.
yeah. Oh yeah, no, people love that.
But can I ask you too? You also discussed costumes, and do you have? I don't know if you still have. I have. The hardest thing for me is getting rid of clothes that I'm like, this is a costume, and so I have a little
Mm.
something under the bed that's my costume section because I always end up needing something, and just as I'm about to get rid of it, I end up getting some project or I'm like, oh, this is why I can't get rid of anything. And how did you manage to? Do you still have a costume fit or?
Oh, I have plenty throughout the years
Okay.
there. I still have stuff from like Hunchback there, like the crown that I had for the Feast of Fools. I had my old boots that were essentially like my old jazz shoes, like super glued onto like with like fabrics on it that was created by one of my.
Very smart.
Yeah, I'm like, it's so comfy. I like the shoes. I just won't be able to wear them for dance calls anymore. Not that I will be called for a dance call, but you may never know.
Yeah.
At least if you want to stand out, that's one way of doing
I was
that.
just thinking you'll very much stand out and you'll be able to move. So, who was that guy with the boots but still was moving with the majestic elegance of a jazz shoe?
Oh my God. Yeah, I still have like my vest I had from American Idiot. I kind of wear that like during the summers, like if I don't want a coat, but I want to have like a hood or something, I'll have that or some. Yeah, it was like it was a pretty cool outfit. I was like, it was the first time in my life that I actually felt cool. It was from like during American Idiots. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm keeping
That's
that.
amazing.
Again,
I
another costume piece that I borrowed. So,
But isn't it when you play those characters and you go, I was never like this as a person, but now I am, and this is so fun.
oh yeah, I never thought like because the high school version of me would be like playing Yu-Gi-Oh in the back hallway with my friends, not like the guy who would be jumping on couches and like playing air guitar, being the cool guy in like his group, or like ever doing drugs there. I'm like the complete opposite of who I was as a high schooler. So,
But you know what? I almost think that that person is inside of you and you got to unleash it in a safe environment. You're like, yeah, this is what I'd be like if I was doing drugs. These aren't real, but this is.
oh yeah, yeah. And for me, I've never really used like heavy drugs or anything like that, and I haven't like no judgment, but it was just like yeah, exactly. That's the one thing the director had to work out of me because like I was just this shy, kind of dorky guy, and they had to find like this like edge in me there, and I had to find that within myself. So it was a lot of try to get that out. So that's why I keep that vest. Like, yeah, you are capable of finding that little thing in you that you never thought you had.
I love that.
Hmm.
Is that one of the harder roles you've ever had to play?
It's up there. That and probably Quasimodo is probably the easily like the top two of like roles that were pretty challenging. That challenged me a lot. Like American Idiot was like it was a transformation kind of sequence there. And also during that time, I was going through like one of my closest friends slash roommates unfortunately passed away during that time, and it was a very big wake up call, and like that, yeah, it was, and like that was that in itself, and also learning this part was like really challenging there because like rage and love was kind of like one of the big themes of American Idiot there, and yeah, the rage kind of helped. It was like very therapeutic as well. Oddly enough, there it absolutely
Yeah.
and that in therapy afterwards, of course, because something like that needs proper care. And then with Hunchback, it was like going through pretending to be like this, while being this guy who is like disfigured, who had like trouble speaking or communicating. The only interaction he had was with his friends, which are the gargoyles in the castle, and Frollo was his only one. And bringing like some traumas from like your childhood, from like for me it was like getting picked on in like elementary school, and then bringing that to Hunchback. That was kind of tough. It's a very heavy show, Hunchback of Notre
Yeah.
Dame, for sure. But as a kid, I would also like jump on couches singing out there. So it was kind of like
I
I
know
was.
that it's so heavy, but the music, the songs, it's so
No,
good. It's so good.
it was one of the first few like musical moments as a kid that stuck with me, and like that was before like I was even into performing or anything like that. It was like that was like the first musical that like struck a chord with me. And then the American Idiot album, when that came out, I was like almost the same thing, but except I was being the rebellion. So like the two things I held close to my heart as a kid were like the two toughest things I had to face as an adult. So, and like in terms of the performing arts.
Look at this, all ends of the spectrum. It's fascinating.
Hmm.
Can I ask, as a child, if you ever did you realize that the actor has some kind of padded hunch? Hunchback? What do you call it? That because I had assumed that the actor was doing all the physicality. I'm like, how does he get his spine to do that? Unless you
Oh,
didn't have a
y-
hunch, but I think you did.
yeah, we did do a
Is it called a hunch? I'm saying this. I'm like, that sounds weird.
um it was a hump that I would wear.
Hump.
It was
That's
yeah.
that's. I'm like hunches. No, that's not right. Okay, thank you.
What hump? No,
What? Yes,
Young
the
Frankenstein
hump.
there.
I.
But for yeah, for the show, I come out as just we all did it as if we were like players in like a Shakespearean play, and like everyone came out in a row, but then like they would soon transform into like the villagers or like the gargoyles, or some people would be like Esmeralda had was just an actress as well, but she transformed into that. For me, I was the last one on stage, and then first thing I did was like I had brown paint, and I would just smudge that, try to get as like a symbolism of my face disformity, and then I and then the cats around me would like put together help me transform into Quasi. By they would place a hump on me, I would tie it down, and then like yeah, I would have. It was a lot of work I did with the director with like physically transforming myself into the Hunchback,
Mhm.
and just like it was a lot of workshopping, just trying to find his walk, the like how he would move, how he would swing his arm, how he would try to communicate. I try to incorporate some sort of American Sign Language to the piece because in the
Whoa.
book he's like mostly deaf, and like he and Frollo communicated in a in like some sort of sign language that wasn't developed yet, but only between those two. And I found that really fascinating.
Yeah.
And then so I would only do like a couple things, but like I would try to muster out the words that Quasi was able to speak. But if he had difficulty, he would sign it to them. So uh, and then actually, so yeah, that was like my transformation into finding Quasi's walk, how he did it. It was a lot of this and a lot of yoga in between shows.
I
Trust
was
me.
just thinking, I hope
Yeah,
you were taking care of yourself because it's those physical roles. They're so demanding.
yeah. It was like that and American Idiot were like the most physically demanding roles. Like you need the high energy in American Idiot as like if you're in a like if you're doing a concert is how I took it. And then
Hmm.
with uh, Hunchback, it was very like a very movement heavy and like bigger physicality and like the way you present yourself, and also singing that way is another challenge in
Yeah.
itself.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh,
And if I can add
challenging
on to
roles. Look at you.
and actually one thing I just recently discovered, like a year after our production of Hunchback, another company in America, they did a production of Hunchback where they had one of the gargoyles sing for Quasimodo, and the actor playing Quasi was uh, actually was hard of hearing, and he actually like signed everything. It was one of the most beautiful things I've seen.
Wow.
Like him singing out there, made of stone, like really pulls at your heartstrings there. So
Chills.
honestly, look it up. It's one of the best things I've seen in terms of Hunchback. Is like that's the way it should be portrayed always, in
Oh,
my personal opinion.
yeah, that's fascinating. I've never heard of it done that way before, so I will be looking that up. Wow.
Yeah, I'll send you the link afterwards.
Yes,
It's
that makes
honestly a good watch.
I love this. Did you decide to incorporate ASL or did the director who decided initially to go that
Um,
way?
well, but what after I got offered the part, I did some heavy reading with Hunchback because all I knew was like the musical version from the soundtrack, and like I know the actor played the Quasi Michael Arden, like he had like he did it as a like sound like he was hard of hearing there. So I read the book. I'm like, I wonder why. And then that's when I found out in the book the way Quasi and Frollo communicate was through like some sort of sign language. I'm like, so I brought that up with the director. Like, I'm not great with American Sign Language, so like if I can do like a few things to incorporate with it, then and if I wasn't offending anyone, then I would totally do that. And the director was on board with that. And Yeah, so briefly I learned a bit of sign language, but not all out there. God, I can't remember. I know like this was stone. You can't see my other hand, but like this stone, uh, friends, uh, also friends as well. Uh, but yeah, that's all I remember there. It's been a long, long time.
That's
But
okay. I admire the I don't know the research that go again. It's you got the role without even being asked to do ASL, and you're like, no, I think I can bring more to it, and that's I very much admire that. It's very impressive.
mhm. If anyone is actually knowing American Sign Language and knew I did that wrong, I apologize. It's been a while. But no, I just want to try to find something like I want to always try to dive deep into a role, regardless if it's like a silly role or like something that has a little bit more depth. And with Hunchback and Victor Hugo, there's always like always like lots of details to be discovered in those books. Heck, in 2 chapters of the book, he talks about like the architect of Notre Dame and like the layout and each view. And those are very long reads there. I like when I was reading that, I was like, because like, but at the same time, it did help me visualize what Quasi would see. Because I've
Mhm.
never been to France or Paris. I never saw Notre Dame before unfortunately it burned down.
Right. I think
But
it's still part of it is there. That's my understanding. But
yeah, I think
yeah.
parts of it is still there, and I'm sure it's going to be rebuilt because a lot of
Hmm.
people. I remember people donated like millions and millions just to keep it back up. So thought that was very interesting. So
Oh, it
yeah,
is. Yeah, you do a lot of research. It just makes you a better performer. And but I don't think everyone would do the work. So hey guys, hire Mike. Although, don't you have? I was reading your about. I didn't even know you were starting your own theater company. Is that still a
yes,
thing, despite
yeah.
COVID? Okay, I love that.
Well, it's still like COVID's stuff there. Actually, I started this company 2019. I did my first cabaret at my cafe that I worked at, that I work at still. And yeah, I presented my first cabaret there, and then COVID happened, and I was in the middle of like, well, I just started this. I want to put on my own show. How can I do that? So, and at that time, just like a lot of people there, they joined TikTok after like COVID happened, and thankfully for me, it would turn out to be a blessing in disguise. I joined the app. I connected with some people, like, why don't I just bring like out there online there and like see what kind of things. And thankfully, I've done one online cabaret, and it was a huge hit, and I'm super happy how that went. And ultimately, my dream project is to produce and put on Tick Tick Boom,
It's a good one.
and like regardless if it's online or in person, like I know I'm a lot closer now because of the online cabaret I did and the first cabaret I did. And my main mandate for that is to produce like non-traditional Broadway shows, like off-Broadway stuff or like new Canadian works. And I want to try to be as inclusive or welcoming to anyone, regardless of what race they are, what they identify as, because especially in some of the industries there, I feel there's a little bit more lacking of that, and I want to try to find a way to be more inclusive there. So that's my big mandate with out there is obviously like my passion project with Chick Tick, but also trying to put other people out there as well. It's kind of like my main goal with this.
I love that so much. It's so funny because when I read that the name was out there, I just thought it was related to the Hunchback of Notre Dame. I'm like, oh, it's a good song.
Oh, it's oh yeah,
But
that was a
it
big
has so
influence
many
there.
meanings. I'm like, oh, out there. Like, it's get very artsy with the title.
Well, like I kind of said before, with the Hunchback of Notre Dame, when I was a kid, I would just listen to that album nonstop and like pretend to be Quasimodo singing out there on the couch. So it's been like that song and that musical has been a big part of my life. And like a director took a chance on me with that part, and like he gave me that shot, not even knowing who I was. So I was like, it'll be kind of like cool to pay it forward there. So, and like out there, I thought was the more appropriate name for the company. So, yeah.
I like it. It's a good name. The name's one of the hardest things to decide. Oh, what should my theater company name be? I don't
Hmm.
know. I would probably just get super vain and here's my name. Done. I don't because I would end up I can't really change my name, but I would end up wanting different titles. But I love
Yeah.
the thought process behind your theater company name. It's great.
Well, I did have a bunch of other names. Like one of my, I think my in college, third year, we all had to come up with our own business, like our own theater company's business
Oh,
kind of thing,
cool.
and so it kind of warmed me up for there. I wasn't super interested at the time for it, but I think my original name was like True North Star. It was like mainly all producing just straight up Canadian shows, musicals, using Canadian talent, like straight up Canadian talent. They're giving, because we know there's a lot of amazing Canadian artists in this country, and I want to try to keep building on that. And then out there became one of my passion projects. I was writing down names, and then I kept going back to out there because, like what you said, it has so many different meanings. It could mean so much, and it was the one title that been stuck to me ever since a kid, and as an adult, even now, it still holds close to my heart. So I'm like,
I
it was
think you
an
chose well. You did good.
thank you.
I know you were worried. The only reason you came on here is to just get validation regarding my opinion towards your company name, and now we're good. Now
Perfect. No, that's all I need. Just keep giving me that validation, please.
everyone loves to be validated, okay? No matter where you are in your career, it's always the positive affirmations. You're doing something right. I don't think anytime someone says good job, I'm like, oh, thank you. I don't know if I'm doing a good job, so I appreciate the feedback. It's
Yeah,
that kind of.
they always say they like, oh, it's like, oh, stop. I don't know how to take compliments, and inside like, give me them all.
But you know what? I think the part when you get a compliment, and this is something so interesting, when you get a compliment and then just taking the compliment without feeling the need to give one back, right? Oh,
Hmm.
I love your hairstyle. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Your hair is great too. As opposed to, thank you. Yes, I appreciate but again, it's a simple example, but I
Yeah.
remember hearing that taking a compliment is such a hard skill because when you give the
Hmm.
compliment back, it almost seems ingenuine, like you feel forced to give that
Yeah.
compliment back, right? So when I complimented your hair and you didn't compliment mine, I'm like, good, he's taken the compliment. I respect that. I mean, also, how is my hair? No, please,
It's gorgeous,
please don't.
Robin.
No,
It's
it's
gorgeous. No, seriously, you don't
oh
even need to do
well, you
anything, and it's
know
always like that.
I did use a straightener for I had something this morning. I'm like, I guess I'm just gonna fry it. That's what happened. That's healthy.
Hey,
The things we
I
do.
did. I was a little behind with my routine, so I had to like blow dry my hair. I was worried it's going to be flat, but like thankfully it bounces,
No,
so I'm
again,
okay.
it's got the luscious curl. We're good. And exactly, you can do the little shake. Mark says
Yeah.
hi. Hi, Mark.
Hey, Mark, how you doing, man? We went to college together.
Oh,
Mark's a good
cool.
dude, but high fives to good Harris today.
There's all. I love that the comments are delayed, so I don't know if it's a hi or a high five, but we'll take either or.
Yeah, it was either one. They're like boom, boom, boom. High
I
five,
accept.
hi, all the high fives and positive vibes. Let's go.
That's awesome. Mike, remind me if I'm correct in thinking this way. Did we meet doing a confidential musical theater project? Was it
Yes.
in Brampton? Was that the one that we met at?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It
Okay.
was. God, that was a time.
That was I think that was like the eighth or ninth one I'd done. And it was
Wow.
so interesting, that concept of, for those of you that don't have never heard of the confidential musical theater
Hmm.
project or music theater project, I really never remember. But it was, in a sense, musical theater improv. You all know your role, but you don't know who you're performing with, and
Hmm.
the audience doesn't know the show. So it's always fun. You go there to different cities, or at least I like to go
Yeah.
to all the different cities, and you see, I know you from somewhere, I know you from somewhere else, and then you just kind of put on a show one time, and sometimes it's good and sometimes it's questionable, but you did it.
Questionable, yeah.
I didn't know we could
Uh,
mess up the trolley song. That was, that was
well, yeah, if I can say for the one we did, I got the role like 2 days before we actually did it. And then I'm like, okay, cool, I'm game. I'll try to learn as much as I can. And then like I found Rebecca was playing opposite of me. I'm like, I got super nervous, like, oh crap. But what an honor, but I boy,
See,
I
that's
don't
funny. I
want to
didn't
mess this
know who
up.
Rebecca was. And then I saw her perform. And then afterwards, I usually look people up and I go, oh, wow, these people are pretty awesome. I'm very honored to have performed with them. So there's that
Hmm.
one benefit of not actually knowing who these people
Yeah.
are. And you go, oh, wow, you guys were pretty. There was this one guy I performed with in Hamilton. His name is Adrian Marchuk. I
Hmm.
think that's how you pronounce his name. And he was doing the most fascinating warm ups behind the scenes. I'm like, what is this guy doing? He gets out there, nails this role. And I later learned that he's a pretty big deal. He is very good at what he does. I was very impressed with
Hmm.
him. But again, there were so many other examples of people. I'm like, they're so humble and modest, and let's just put a show
Hmm.
on. And then they go out there, and you don't know, you never know. And then they either belt out a tune or they just have this amazing character choice, and it's I love that so much.
Well, the first one I did, I only did three of them. Oh wait, are we allowed to say the
Which
names now? I know it's been like
I mean,
years and
it's
years
not. Is
ago,
it
but like
confidential anymore? Yeah, I think it's fine. We did them.
I
The
think mine
audience.
was the first one was revealed. So the first one I did was Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. I was in the ensemble for that one. And the guy who played the main character, I can't remember his name. He came across as like this very quiet guy, but like exactly what he said. Like he came up, owned the stage. He absolutely crushed it. And then like I did the same thing, and then like he was a pretty big deal, and then like he's in the current cast of Come From Away in Toronto as well. So I'm just like, what? It's just like all these performances you never thought for a second, and like the one time, and then the second one I did, I think it's probably one of the reasons why this project wasn't around. I'm still afraid to say the name, but Jenny
Oh,
was
that
the
one at the
leading.
Fringe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the one
Okay.
where Jenny was the main character. That's when I first started talking to Jenny. That's not saying it was like, hi. Like we actually had a proper conversation. Then she remembered me from that. But like it was turned into an abridged 1 hour version. We only did like the first half and two songs of the second half. But like again, Jenny is like truly one of a kind talent there, and just like sharing the stage with her and that was like a that felt like a huge honor. And same with like all the other performers I admire. And that's the one thing I loved about that is like you never know who you get to line up with, and like the talent you get to work with. Like it's a huge opportunity. And like the last one, I wish I had a little bit more time to do because oh God, what could have been.
But
But
that's it can always be better in a sense, but I mean, if you're having fun, the audience is having fun. At
yeah.
least that's what I was telling myself. I remember there were some that I got. I remember I got this one. It was, oh my gosh. I am going to say this one because I loved it. Someone had
Mhm.
decided to drop out, and I'm totally cool with that. And so it was in Newmarket, and I get this email, hey,
New
whatever,
market.
however they, yeah,
Oh boy.
I went everywhere. I went to Newmarket, Port Perry, Windsor. I'm like, let's just keep doing. I got really obsessed with them because I just love meeting people and performing. But the one I did in Newmarket, they go, okay, so it's Louise and Gypsy. I'm like, I don't care. I will learn this role. This is what I love that role so much. It's just so funny. I'm like, yes, I don't care how much time I have. I'm learning it. And then it was so funny because I prepped so hard. And there were so many people that it was their first or second time doing it. And I decided to memorize it. And then everyone goes, oh my God, are you an equity performer? I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. No, but I just will have a little obsession with that musical. So I love when you get those
Mhm.
musicals and those dream roles and you go, oh boy, this is happening. Because it's
Yeah.
such a rarity that you get that opportunity. So, that was one of that one and Victor Victoria, which I did in Hamilton, where I got to be the
Mm.
dumb blonde, Norma. Oh, any dumb blonde I'm a fan of that. I'm gonna soak it in because why not? But I love that so much. All the fun roles and musicals that I got to learn about. I had never heard of The Mystery of Edwin Drood. I've
Yeah.
never heard of it. I'm like, what
Such a
is
good
this?
show.
It was so fascinating. And oh
Hmm.
my gosh. Oh, now I want to do them again. I know they don't exist anymore. But shout out to
Well,
Marion Abbott. That was really cool.
I'm pretty sure I could say this one there, but like the last one we did, like in Brampton, I didn't even know there was a musical version of it. Like I knew of the movie, but I didn't know there was like a Broadway until I got the script. I'm like, what? There's a musical version of it? And he wanted me to be this character. I never thought I would, but okay, let's do it. I'm gonna try.
I thought you were adorable. You were great. I always think everyone's adorable. I just use that word because, but I don't know. I liked you had such a good energy.
No,
And
thank you.
I don't know, I'm like, this guy, I don't really know him, but I like what happened. That was fun. And then a lot of
Well, I appreciate
people,
that.
you just seem to know a lot of people that I think, if I'm not mistaken, do you know Sam Ballard? Is that you?
Sam Ballard, yes.
Yes. Okay,
Samantha,
okay.
yes. I was about to, before COVID, I was gonna be an assistant director to her production of Spring Awakening.
Yes.
But yeah, and she was gonna help me out, like launch, like help me produce Tick Tick Boom as well. So shout out to Sam. Like she's
Sam.
been kind of like, since I have no idea like how to like run or produce, Sam has done it. So I'm like, okay, cool. I know her. We met during Hunchback, and we became friends ever since that. And like she's kind of helped me, like, okay, this is what you need to do if you want to produce a show, how to book a venue, how to do that for money. This is what you need to do. And like, okay, cool, good to know, because I have no business experience whatsoever. I only get by with personality, and I need more than that to do
But
that.
at least you're willing to learn, right? It's not, okay, we'll just kind of see what happens. It's let's find the people that can help me. And then,
Hmm.
you get a little more experience, and then you're like, "Pfft, do it all on my own." But maybe don't because that's a lot of work, but you
Yeah.
could if you had to. So,
Well, and that's the one thing that we learn in this industry is like learning how to adapt to whatever challenges we have ahead. Oh, my lamp is right here. Yeah. Up.
I
There we
heard
go,
lamp.
live on camera.
What happened?
Lamp, yes. The top of the lamp just fell down there. It's all good.
That's okay. I actually didn't hear it, but thank you for sharing.
There we are. And that's recorded. Perfect.
That honestly, I've had a lot worse. That honestly was so minor that I didn't even, I'm like, we could have kept going. But thank you for sharing the distracting point. I was waiting.
Distraction.
Now I want to make, exactly. I want something awkward to happen to me, but that happened the other day.
Hey, we
And I
could.
always
I'm not sure
think
how.
it's worse. I always, like when something slams in the background because it fell off my desk and it's so loud for me. I'm like, oh, no one even noticed. Interesting. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Oh, we still got some time. I'm sure something might happen within the next little
Yeah,
while.
that's true.
Who knows?
That's true. I know. We still, what am I saying? I don't want to jinx
Why
it.
not?
Yeah, bring it. No, maybe don't. I have some stuff that I don't want falling.
Yes, please. Yeah, I just moved to this place. I like it. I don't want anything to break in here. I will set this down. Whoop. Ah, I accidentally kicked my stand. There we go. Boom. Chaos.
Tick, tick, boom. It happened.
Tick, tick, boom. Nice. Love that.
Yeah, it's a callback. There we go.
It's a good challenge. No, this
You know
is
what?
fun. No,
love that
honestly,
you-
this is a blast.
Oh, thanks. I was so excited because I think you were watching Alicia
Yeah.
Riot, and I'm like, wait, how does everyone know each other? And I just, I love when everyone seems to know each other in the community. I'm like, oh, Mike was such a sweetheart. Does he want to do this? Because some people don't, and that's totally fine. I'm like, I think he should do this. Here we go. It's happening.
Oh no, I've always wanted to do stuff like this, so I was so happy when you asked. I'm like, yes, it was a no-brainer for me. Like immediately, I want to do it.
You're
So,
also part of the new way I'm promoting people. The struggle is real. I have no idea how to produce. So when you say you have no idea what you're doing, I feel ya. So I'm like, no, I'm trying to figure out how to add their bios to Instagram, make it all fancy, check these people out, all the hashtags, whatever. I don't know what that means. But I don't know.
I'm still
I got
figuring
excited.
out hashtags. I'm still way behind with the times.
It's kind of like, hopefully it resonates. If not, it makes me smile. So whatever.
Yeah. Oh boy. But yeah,
Right.
no, the Alicia interview was a lot of fun to do, and like, yeah, she's a sweetheart there. Me and Emily love her, and obviously, incredible talent there. Her voice work and her
Great.
music stuff as well is great.
I think that's the thing. Everyone, it's so, because I used to be in the mindset of I'm competing with everyone else. But when you chat and meet other people and you realize everyone brings their own uniqueness to whatever the project they're working on. And that's what
Hmm.
I've grown to love. And honestly, the support from this community is insane. everyone is so helpful and we're all there for each other. And it's just something I've never experienced. I'm always so grateful for that. Like, yeah, how can we help each other out? Oh, wait, what? We're helping each other? Are we not competing? I'm confused. So it's very heartwarming.
I'm always competing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
No,
okay.
I'm kidding.
Well, I mean,
No,
I did
no, no,
audition
no,
for
no,
the
no.
Hunchback, and I'm a little bitter because I really could have brought a different
No,
spin.
no, 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 no. Honestly, no. You said it best there. Honestly, and and that's one thing I had to learn how to overcome is like, yes, you are trying to vie for the same job as most people, but you have to learn is like it's a supportive community rather than like a cutthroat, everyone's gonna steal your job kind of environment because like we all want the same thing, but at the same time, we can still admire what other people bring to the table. There is especially like going back to Hunchback, there's like four other actors who were called back who would have been brilliant as Quasimodo. I would just and then thankfully two of those people actually got to be Quasimodo in different productions and they absolutely killed it. So I was like, again, it's just everyone has their own flair, but you can still admire what other people bring to the table. And with all these auditions, like that's how you make friends. And that's how I reconnected with Alicia because we were just in a random audition. And I kind of felt bad because I didn't know like we went even that further back to like Chrissy's stage door. I saw the video, I'm like, oh my God, that's Alicia. Like how I can't even my memory doesn't even go that far back anymore than I thought it did. I'm like, some things I remember, a lot of things I don't. I'm like, oh my God. So it was just crazy that we had like the same voice teacher and even that deeper of a history there. So it's just crazy. But again, just from that group alone, the support was there. Like obviously even as a high school where we're like, we all want the big part or whatever. It's like we could still admire like everyone else's talent there, even if we don't get the part. We're like, yeah, they got it for a reason and they're incredible. It's just not my time, you know? And
It's
that's
so
cool.
100%. I hear you because again, everyone wants the lead in school. And I remember there were years when okay, you get the lead. I'm like, yeah, I got the lead this year. I should get it next year. I don't understand. But then
Hmm.
it's such a weird learning experience when I got kind of like the funny side roles, and then I learned, oh my God, this is such a fun opportunity. Yes, you're not the lead, but you can do so much with this side character that it's such a cliche. But yes,
Hmm.
technically there are no small roles, whatever. I don't always feel that way, but in that case I did, and it was kind of a nice learning experience. So obviously it happened at school, but it's
Hmm.
so it's just you know what it's just you all work together and you all just create something. I miss that. I miss doing a show and working with people and just kind of progressing my character accordingly versus okay, I'm coming in, here's my character, let's film it, done, peace out.
Hmm.
So
Well, yeah, and just to add on, especially in high school, like but until like my grade 12 year, I was always like I had like a featured song and then like I was ensemble for most of that. Like I guess I was the only one who could carry a tune back then but even though I was still very pitchy all over the place. But
it was a
it just
character
kept
choice. What are you talking about? The pitchiness?
yeah,
You're
my high
welcome.
school character choice. Yeah, I didn't freak out backstage when I squeaked. What are you talking about?
But okay,
In
no, I
grade 10,
understand why you
Mike was
freaked out.
very,
Kids are relentless
very.
with the squeak. They are the worst. Oh, ha ha
Mhm.
ha ha ha, squeak.
Oh yeah, when I did in grade 10, I did Grease, and I was a teenager, and I sang Beauty School Dropout. Let me see if I can recreate it. It was like uh, it's like wipe out that angel face and go back to high school. And that's like hearing those last like oof as a young kid. But like I'm glad I had that experience there. But like it was devastating at the time. But then it's funny. Like there's times where like I'm not vocally on, and then like I make those sounds, and then if it happens, I'm like, whatever. It as long as people still enjoy the show one way or another, and also like not always getting like the role you audition for, but also enjoying like for me, I always enjoy like doing like this the solo song roles or ensemble, but with like some funny lines there, you got to make those roles worth it for the show. Like again, there's no little parts there, only like smaller people. But and like every role, every character has a meaning for the show. If it was just a lead character, it'd be boring. Unless it was a purposely one-person show, then no one else just does the show. But
Yeah.
I got pretty lucky in college.
As
Sorry,
you were
go
singing Beauty School Dropout, do you notice that it sounds very much like Chicago, All I Care About Is Love, that note at the end? I've never noticed that. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so interesting. I learn every day on these lives.
And I'm just trying to remember.
Kind of like I care about is, and then it's like that kind of. Again, this is just me thinking, is it similar? Can I have a
There's some similar stuff to it, yeah.
Yeah. But you know what? I was thinking more the opportunity for a character's voice to crack, and that's when Billy's voice could crack, similar to the Beauty School Dropout song. How do you know they're a good Billy Flynn? If they can hit those notes.
Yes. I'm just trying to think. Was Chicago and Grease ran around the same time? When was Chicago, the musical, written? Was it like 70s or 80s?
I can't
remember. I know the revival was like mid-90s because the movie was released a couple years after the revival.
I'm the worst at loving the movies more than theater. I just love what you can do on film. It's just, I very much love it. But I know a lot of my theater people disagree, and I get that, but I don't know.
Well, Chicago is an example of a musical movie done right in my books there. I personally don't, like, compared to all the nominees that year, I was surprised it won the Academy Award, but it won for a reason, because, like, it's a very unique, like, musical movie there, where a lot of it wasn't that great. Before then, it was just, we all were obsessed with Grease, and even like how corny and over the top that show is, people still loved it. But like Chicago had that really dark, but like a jazzy vibe to it, and the way it was shot, it was so cool. It was like half filmed, half of it was like being on a stage, while the other half was like an actual like cinema masterpiece, you know?
That grew my love for Catherine Zeta-Jones. I knew she did stuff before, but I saw her, I'm like, I don't know who you are that much, but I will officially be obsessed with you now. So,
oh, no, same thing.
She was so good. Oh, I think she won an award, as she should have, but oh my God, she was great.
No, she, like that was one of arguably probably one of the best musical movies of all time.
Very much.
Easily top 3.
Here's the thing. Now I know they're trying to do, it's the live version on television of musicals. And I don't like that as much. I don't know why. It bothers me. I think if it's on TV, you should do multiple takes and get it right. But if it's on theater, it's okay if you mess up. But when you mess up on TV, it very much bothers me. That's just my thought.
That's fair. I don't know. I like if we're talking about that, like, for example, Hamilton was like one of my, like, when that came out there.
That was awesome.
Yeah. And like, sure, I'm just glad they did as like a one continuous take with multiple cameras. I'm sure they like clipped together some things, but like, for me, I just like things that aren't like pre-recorded vocally kind of stuff like that. Otherwise, it just feels very, Like, I know for when they did a Newsies musical, they had like Jerry Jordan like fix up his note for Santa Fe because he kept like, apparently he kept going under pitch. I'm like, just keep it. Who cares? Like, it's live theater, yes, but then again, it goes to your point, like, it needs to be right. If you're filming it, it needs to be right. But that's the beauty with theater. Like, it's authentic and it's in the moment there. Like,
that's true. But you know what's so funny? I think if I have a role and there's a part where I know I'm going to mess up, once I have the mess up, I feel like those are my best performances. I'm like, I messed up already. Let's just do whatever. Not in the sense of not following the stage directions and changing the lines, but there's a freedom in, I already messed up once. The audience knows I'm not perfect. So let's just get out of my head and perform. I feel it's very free. Yeah,
and I guess with that, because like a lot of times when we're on stage, we like we're in a zone and a lot of times we're just trying to be a little bit too serious at time instead of like, really enjoying it. And if one little thing happens, you can take that as like, oh God, or like, well, it's only going to get better from here. So might as well have fun. And
that's the thing, right? Again, just back to when you're having fun and you're in it. Because look, it could be your 20th time doing the show. And for the audience, it's still their first time seeing it. So you got to figure out how to keep it fresh and exciting for them to watch to justify, sometimes the very expensive ticket that you are paying for.
And exactly. And just as performers, this is a wicked job in comparison to like what we could all be doing. Like if you're fortunate enough to like get paid to do it, and like, yeah, if you do it for like 20 or hypothetically your 100th or 200th time there, it's a wicked job.
I know, I was saying 20. I'm like, 20, you're fine. You're right. 100, 200, that's a lot. Yeah.
Like, yeah, but again, like you said, a lot of times it will be people's first time seeing it. And for me, like, I've been fortunate enough to have done like shows where I've done like 50 to 60 performances of one show. And like, yeah, that mentality gets in like, oh my God, I'm getting tight. But like, it's a cool job. Like, you get to like for me, I got to swing a sword at someone. I got to like pull a gun and be a police officer at someone on stage there. And then like I got beat up on stage. Like getting beat up on stage, like doing it safely is so much fun. Like it was a wicked time for me. It was tiring. I was exhausted, but like at the same time, I'd rather do that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's just like trying to get into that mindset of just like trying to have fun every show while making it unique to yourself every time, but also keeping it fresh for people who are seeing it for the very first time, especially for a very long running show.
I was smiling not because I wanted you to get beat up on stage, but you reminded me of the time someone had to slap me in the face, and I learned what a stage slap was. And, I make the noise, but they do the gesture. This is so interesting. I never knew that. And yeah, it made me smile. Also, I think that was in Greece. And I thought, I don't remember this being part of the movie. Why are you beating me up? Oh, yes. Okay. Slap her around a bit. But it was such a cool experience because it was also, as a child, I believe everything I see. And then as you become the performer, you go, what? This isn't real? What do you mean? I think the worst is the Beauty and the Beast, where I thought, how did they change on stage? How did they do that? How do you go from the Beast to regular Prince? What's going on? And I would study it. And then I grow up and I learn how, and I don't want to ruin it in case a child watches, but it is real. It's totally real.
Fast forward if you're a kid.
The transformation does happen.
Yes. But I remember seeing a production of Cinderella where like literally she goes from like her outfit to like the dress there, and from like a triple
they
spin
did the
there.
spinny thing. Yeah, I saw that
Yeah,
too.
I'm like, that's a lot of money there, but like it's and quick changes and magic is, I mean, magic, not quick changes. What are you talking about?
It was magic.
It's totally magic.
Fairy godmother is totally real. That was a thing. Absolutely.
100% is still a thing. I'm just waiting on my outfit there.
That.
I'm gonna change to a suit.
Can I? It's so funny. There was
my fairy godmother is out for a bit. She'll come back after the show probably. Okay. So
that's what happens. Sometimes they need a break, and you got to respect that.
Yeah.
Wait, exactly. Isn't this like a TikTok video? Change.
No, I don't have the TikTok magic or my fairy godmother helping me right now. Here we go. Oh, still the same outfit.
No. All right. Nope. Well, you know what? We need to warm up on the magic, but that's it is what it is. I blame Instagram.
I guess it's only a TikTok thing that changes happen. Maybe if we do another interview, we can do it on TikTok or something. Yeah. I don't know.
I think that is a thing, and don't get me started on TikTok. I'm not ready for that. The struggle is real with that. I don't understand. That's even worse for hashtags. I don't get it.
I've been on TikTok ever since last year, and like I'm thankful for all the things that happen. I still don't understand it.
All right, it's very confusing, and I don't want to get sucked into the wormhole that is TikTok because the videos are so short. So I have this one friend that I always joke with. He sends me so many videos, and I love that he wants to entertain me, but I can't. I can't go through them because then I'm going to be 2 hours gone, and where did my life go? All I know are images, and it's too much
Yeah,
difference.
and most of the times, well, like I'll go through like I go through TikToks and then I'll just say the exact same thing I found to my girlfriends. Like, what are you even talking about? Context. And I'm like, what? It's from TikTok. "Oh, you didn't show me the video. How am I supposed to know? It's like, I thought you knew me.
I do
But
that to my husband all the time. I don't give a backstory. I just say something, and I expect him to respond as if he's seen what I've seen. I'm like, why don't you understand? I don't. This is clearly. Are we not? Why are we not communicating? Oh, I have not shared the story. I actually haven't told you anything, and now I understand.
oh boy.
In our defense, they should be able to read our minds by now. It's been a lockdown. Okay,
Yeah.
we should be vibing more.
Yeah, I was like, come on, we've been living together for a month. You should know me by now. No, I know it takes a lot longer than a month living
Oh my
together to understand.
gosh. You say, how long have we been married? Almost 6 years. I'm like, I don't know. I still learn new things about him every day. Fascinating.
Hey, that's a great thing about a relationship. You always learn new things with your partner every day, regardless how long it's been. And it's a great thing. 6 years,
It's,
wow, muzzle tough.
oh my gosh, thank you. We've been together for 11, I think. So that's even
Oh
more like,
wow, 11.
what? Bizarre. I know. I round up. It's okay. It's the end of May. Yes, it's almost 6 years. Whatever. But
Yeah, it's still
yeah,
six.
yeah.
That's still wonderful. Absolutely.
Thank you. It's so bizarre. Just,
Hmm.
yeah, I like him. He's good. Keep him around. His name is also Mike. Fun fact. The Mikes are good people. I like the circle clap.
Yes, is a round clap there for you and Mike.
Oh, that's very funny. Mike, you're doing great. Do we promote everything that we had to promote for you? I think we did, unless I
Uh,
missed something. I know there was your theater
uh,
company. You
yeah,
do your
theater
TikTok.
company. Yeah, TikTok at Mike Buchanan actor. Uh,
Is there another Mike Buchanan?
there's several Mike Buchanans on TikTok. I'm one of the more consistent ones, I guess. I think I should claim that name. It's mine now.
You're
Yep.
verified. Boom. Just like the fairy godmother. I just verified you. You just got verified, son.
Yes. Yes. Finally, it took me over a year. I oh boy, I'm not even sure. Do you need a certain amount there or just a certain amount of content?
Please,
Again,
I'm
I
not the
don't know.
person. Not the person.
Robin, I thought you were. Jeez,
No,
come
I
on.
just like to give
You
off
gotta
this
help me out,
confidence.
man.
I would love to help you. I will share any knowledge I have. TikTok is not an area of my expertise at all. But I love, so you're Mike Buchanan actor on TikTok, but you're
Yes,
Mike Buchanan 55 on
on
Instagram,
Instagram,
right?
yeah.
Why
I
55?
uh because as when I played hockey and baseball, that was my number.
That's fun.
Every time I wanted a jersey number, I always wanted 66 because my favorite hockey player of all time is Mario Lemieux,
Okay.
and he's one of my favorite players. Like I won't go into much of the sports aspect of it, but like he's
I
a
appreciate
kid.
that. I can only fake knowing hockey so much, so
Yeah,
thank you.
no, I have I have a I am as very basic as I get, like very athletic guy, blah, but who likes singing show tunes. Interesting mix.
You play
Uh,
hockey while singing songs. It's a very logical mix to me. I like, as I
I wouldn't be
run, I
able to.
like to hum show tunes. Back in the day when an iPod was a thing, I had the weirdest
They're
mix
still a
of
thing, right?
songs. I don't know if people still really use them. I think they just use their phone. I actually was wondering this the other day. Does anyone know what an iPod is? It was an external device that you play songs on because your phone wasn't capable.
One, yeah, one of the things I actually tossed out because it doesn't work anymore and it can't be fixed was my iPod Shuffle that I had.
Yes, the shuffle. That was the coolest.
It was the coolest. Still
And
would have been the coolest.
it still is. It still is actually. I
Mhm.
might still have mine. Was that the one that you clip, the little small one that you clip on? Or am I
The
getting
one
confused? I think I got
The
the
one
really
that I had was
tiny
like
one.
mine was like a little thin one. It would look like something, if I can make the shape, was kind of like this long there, this
Oh.
thin there. It was kind of slimish there, but not as small as like the I know which ones you're talking about, the little
The
square
little, yeah, you
ones.
clip it on and you pretend you're a runner. Felt very athletic
Yeah.
every time I wore it.
Oh yeah. No, I would do
But
that, and
we
I would listen to
also
Billy Talent on my
had
way to high school.
we still had the cords. That was pre-cordless.
Heck,
Although honestly, I miss running with a cord. And I refuse to listen to music now because I'm scared that these are gonna fall out. I
yeah,
don't trust it because no thank you. I don't need to try and find this little thing.
yeah. Well, I had like headphones and like air, like not AirPods, but like the another version of it for my iPhone,
Oh, there's
and
so many
the
versions, yeah.
yeah, and they got lost when I was listening to music. That one fell down the sewer, so I'm like,
Oh no.
uh, but yeah, CD players, like tape players as well. You can take with you. I listen to that with my McDonald's tape.
The
But
CD player, when you would walk too fast or move in a different way and then it would stop playing, I would
yeah,
always, again, it seemed as though the remedy was always to blow on it. That just, there, it's better
yeah.
now. That always worked. I don't know why.
I always just took the CD out and just like give it a wipe on my shirt, but very gently there. But I think I would make it worse, and I would smudge it more. I was not a smart kid with especially with a burned CD that took like 6 hours to burn like all these songs on there, which was very fast in the day.
Oh my God, it was so fast. You go, oh my gosh, under a day I can
Six,
have a CD? Whew,
yeah, 20 hours. Oh my God. And
that's
now we're like,
awesome.
if Netflix won't load for a second, like, God, it's so slow.
My God, I have to wait a whole minute. I can't. Life sucks.
God, I have to wait 5 more minutes for this game to upload. Ugh.
You know, we're
Anyways,
joking
going back
about
to
this.
the,
I actually will not wait. I won't wait. We're saying this. My
we've gotten
face.
so used to like faster loading times now. It's nuts. Oh yeah, going back to the 55 there. Well, I still have
Yes.
that. So Mario Lemieux, he's a two-time cancer survivor, and arguably, I consider him one of the best hockey players of all time. Would have been the best if it wasn't for like his cancer treatments. And I'm like, I've had a lot of people in my life who like battled cancer, and for me, I always wanted to wear number 66, but the highest number they had was 55. So for every sports team I played, I would wear that number in my little village back in Shallow Lake, 10 minutes outside of Owen Sound. So 55 has always been like a username. It was my MySpace name, like Mike Emo 55 or something along those lines there. And that was me trying to brush out my curly hair because I didn't like my curls back then. And having that MySpace angle where I'm like,
Oh my God, yes.
yep. I think you can pick your top 8 of like who you're following there or who your favorite band was. And then messaging people on the wall.
See, I was never allowed ICQ, MySpace, but Facebook was the first thing that was social media to me. That I was, because I was already grade 11, I think, grade 12 when it came out. Maybe grade 12.
Okay.
But I know what you're talking about. I know MySpace. I've heard of them. I just don't know the full extent to how they work. But yeah, that's an overshare on Robyn's lack of social media as a child.
Well,
I
that was
lived
my
in a
first
bubble.
introduction. Oh, same here. But like, I heard from it when, God, what was the one movie? Scary Movie 4? When it was like,
17?
yeah, yeah. And it was like, yeah, I'm going to post that on MySpace. I'm like, what's MySpace? So I looked it up, and then there's Tom as your first friend, like that one profile picture. But I was also in an old band. Like in my band that I was in high school, they had like a music page and they would post their songs from the old singer and then like 1 or 2 live clips from me. And that's like the only time I would use it. And then check and see if like my high school crush messaged me back, which he never did. Because I was that weird kid who played Yu-Gi-Oh! She wasn't into that.
Yu-Gi-Oh! And not Pokemon. That's why. Pokemon was cool. I don't know
I was also
Yu-Gi-Oh!
into Pokemon, for sure.
Well,
No,
did you
I
catch
still
them
play the
all?
games.
Did you catch them all?
I'm still trying to catch them all. There's too much right now.
The struggle is real.
There's over 900 Pokemon right now.
I don't. Okay, I know the Pokemon song. and I don't know. I refuse to acknowledge or accept the new Pokemon. You are not the OG. No, I
I
don't
can
say
only go
that
up
to the
two
creator.
generations, and that's it. Like,
Oh, you know more than me, my friend. Two
yeah,
generations. Oh God.
yeah, the original and then the Johto region of Pokemon there, because Cyndaquil is actually my favorite Pokemon. You don't, it's one of the starters for this after the first generation there, but
I heard
that was
Tentacruel. Is that?
Tentacruel is a first gen.
Yeah. So what did you say? Which one?
Cyndaquil.
Oh no, I don't
It's
know
like
that.
this little fire Pokemon there. It's so cute. It's like, and then it turns into like his level 3's Typhlo. It's like, with like fire in his back.
But how amazing is it that they're still creating? They still can think of different ones because the first ones were so unique in and of itself, and now there's more, and they're all different. And
Yeah,
even I don't know if you've watched the person who voices Pikachu and also does multiple Pokemon voices, but
yeah.
how she decides to voice them and the characteristics she gives them, it's so fascinating. It's so cool.
hmm
I think she does 9 or so. I could be off, but
No,
it's awesome.
a lot of voice actors I found who do like voiceover work for like anime, especially like Pokemon. They do like multiple voices for that show, and and a lot of dub artists there. They do multiple like voices for different anime shows as well. It's so crazy, like how small of a community like the dub, like anime dub community is so crazy. Like I remember listening to an interview with I forget who ran this one, but like he talked to like different voiceover actors about like the different shows and legally this person, the girl who voices Ash Ketchum, can't really say anything
I
that's not
know.
part of the script because it's part of the contract because they didn't want to take
It's
anything like.
It's so true. She was in a clubhouse room with me, and she said, I can't talk about Pokemon. I can't talk about these characters. I
Oh,
can't
really?
actually use the voice legally. She's not allowed to unless it's for the show. I thought it
Yeah.
was so fascinating. Good contracts. Some good
Well,
lawyers there.
I'm well, I remember like he only said like one thing from Ash Ketchum in the interview because like it's already a line she already said. But like everything else, yeah, she couldn't say. And I remember the very first voice actress who voiced Ash Ketchum in the original dub there when I went to a fan expo, she was able to say a couple of things there, but like she's even though she wasn't like contracted by Pokemon or Nintendo, she was like but she still was very conscious there because she didn't because I actually remember like the original voice actors of Dragon Ball Z, they got in a lot of trouble because they said some really cruel, probably non PG 13 like PG lines that their main character say. It was very like I obviously won't repeat what they said, but it's like
Probably better that way.
they
Yeah.
probably want that's probably one of the reasons why, especially if it's like Funimation or for kids, they don't want like these guys saying dirty things in like their characters' voices that pay them
Hmm.
a lot of money. So I can
Yeah.
understand that. So
I'd be willing to sacrifice not saying bad words in my character name if I had that gig too. So that's
I mean, yeah, it would be a decent gig there for sure. Voicing like I always wanted to voice an anime, but I'm never really good at doing voiceover auditions there. That's one thing I want to try to keep improving upon. But
that's the thing, right? It's the audition, how to stand out, but also how to respect the breakdown. It's a bit of it's a struggle, but it's
mhm,
always fun. I had one recently, and it was such a fun little throwback to my childhood. And I thought, oh my gosh, I was just so grateful to have the opportunity to try because oh, this could
mhm.
be cool. This is what I'll bring. Oh, that was, and also I almost love. I don't know when you get an audition, but I love learning what they're about to be doing,
Mhm.
like, oh, this is so cool, you're doing this. I mean, I love booking the role as well, but also if I don't,
Yeah, that would
still
be a
having
big.
that kind of insider knowledge, like I know this is going to happen, this is exciting, that's
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah, no, booking the role will also be very nice there.
That would
As
be lovely, yes.
I've only have like a couple of voiceover auditions to my name, and they're only for like little. One was like a little jingle for like a boot company, and one was like a weird
Wait, how do you
voiceover.
audition for a jingle? Do you have to make up your own tune?
They give you like a lot of it was like they had a demo singer for it. I'm like, okay. I guess they just wanted a different voice for it, but sure. It was weird. Like I've only had, those were like my only two. It was just jingles there. I do want to try to maybe do a dub one day of some sort. That would be my inner child would be super happy about that. I'm not sure if I can go Goku like screaming at the top of my lungs, but if I could play like the best friend side character who's not the smartest one, but he's always there to support.
I see it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, let someone else ruin their voice. I'll just do the ones that kind of need a low character but are still in the healthy range for me. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, there are healthy ways to scream and make noises, and that is part of learning. But yeah, yeah, it's true. I'm like, yeah, I'll start off with the side gigs. No small roles. Let's just keep learning.
Yeah, exactly. The inner singer in me is like, maybe don't take on anything that involves a lot of screaming, but at the same time, it's just like, I want to power up.
Powering up. I want to create, you know what? One of my goals is to create the voices that people try and copy, right? Like, oh yeah, I just saw this and this. How do I mimic this character? And just to be able to create something like that, oh, it's such an honor. That's the life goal. One of them. I have a lot, but yes, that's up there with the goals.
Yeah. No, the one show, like going back to Yu-Gi-Oh, like the anime show for the first season was like, it was very wonky to put it lightly, and like them trying to Americanize the Japanese show is always funny. Like they give the one character Joey like a Brooklyn accent there, while he's the only one with a Brooklyn accent. Like, sorry, you doing a Brooklyn accent makes it difficult to concentrate on card games. That's from an abridged version of it. That's not the actual voice, but it was pretty similar. Like,
I bought it.
I want a pizza. Like, oh God, it was so cringy.
I mean, at least they tried, I guess.
Yeah, they tried.
I think, you know what's so weird? When they bring back, so I was watching Looney Tunes because I love Animaniacs, and Looney Tunes comes on after that, so, you know, I try and watch it to support my childhood. But I know that they've recast some of the characters, and my childhood brain cannot accept the new voices. They're very similar, but they're not the same, and so I can't watch it. And it's not saying that those voices, the voice actors are doing a bad job. It's just, to me, it seems inauthentic, which is ironic because it's a cartoon and it's not real anyways. But I don't believe it now. I don't believe you, Bugs Bunny or Daffy Duck or whoever they replaced. I can't remember. Maybe it was Tweety Bird as well. I'm like, no, this isn't Tweety. It was different. What happened?
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, I've only seen like a couple clips from like the more recent revivals of like, you know, the Mickey Mouse kind of voice actors or like the Looney Tunes voice actors. Like one of the people I follow is a voice actor, and one of the characters he does is like Donald Duck. And it's just like, he's good at it, but it's just not the same as like the original, because like our brain is like adjusted to like what it sounds like. They're doing an incredible job and doing their absolute best.
I know.
Doing it, because I would not want to be in those shoes of like trying to replace such an iconic voice. And they do well, but it's just like our brains still have trouble adjusting to it. Kind of like, say if like one of our favorite bands and their lead singer's gone, they get replaced with someone who's doing it the best they can, but it's not the same. It's hard for us to listen to them anymore. It's just like we like.
Yeah.
It's a bit of that nostalgia feel.
I don't know if you ever watched Rugrats, but I was watching Nancy Cartwright's Masterclass. And it's, as a child, when I was watching Rugrats, I always thought, I don't know what happened to Chucky's voice. It sounds different. And then I learned that Nancy Cartwright took over the role of Chucky, one of the Rugrats. And I thought, oh my God, as a child, I heard the difference. It was so cool that you could pick up on that as a child. It didn't bother me enough. I still watched it. But I'm like, look at me and my little ear as a child. It was a little Bravo childhood Robyn moment.
Yeah. Oh, Rugrats, that was a show.
That was a show. That was very clever. I like knowing how clever things are, because how it appeals to the younger generation, but how if you're an adult watching it and you have to suffer through it, I mean, suffer. They're all fine. But a little comedy for you. You're like, huh, that was clever. That was good.
Yeah, one of the shows I watch a fair amount, but my mom said no more, was Ren and Stimpy. And like I didn't, there's so much adult jokes that I didn't get as a kid. And then like rewatching it now, like, oh, no wonder my mom said no. And like she took away cable essentially from that. So I had to go to my friend's house to watch television or play video games for like the longest time before I got a computer. But it was, yeah, I was like, okay, I can see why this one was more kind of adult than it maybe is to kids. But and then like rewatching some of the other shows, like, uh, God, there's a bunch. I remember Arthur. I remember there's like a couple adult jokes in there, which is so bizarre because you would never think of Arthur being like throwing any adult jokes in it.
Arthur is the reason when I got glasses as a child, Arthur is the reason I didn't want them because there was an episode regarding him getting glasses and being called for. And that's when I got glasses and I was told, I almost started to cry. Like, no, because I'm going to be like Arthur. It was very impactful. I also was older at the time, so that's how much it resonated with me. I'm like, oh God, I'm going to be Arthur?
Yeah, I was like grade 9 when I was told I needed to wear glasses, but I refused to wear them for like the longest time. And then I just wore contacts. And then it wasn't until like after college, I'm like, all right, fine, screw it, I'll wear glasses. And yeah, but now I don't mind these guys.
They look
They
cool.
did the job.
But they're so much better than now. I love plastic. I don't know if those are plastic, but they look without the nose piece, right?
Yeah.
I hated the nose piece. And I also am quite blind, so it would be such a heavy, like just all the lenses pulling it down. Now they have better ways to make lenses and the plastic frames. But as a child, I was not, I almost failed out of grade 2 because I couldn't read the board. I was so blind, and I have to copy off of the person sitting next to me, and if they were mad at me, they wouldn't show me the notes, and then I wouldn't have them going into school, going into the test. I'm like, oh, I swear I'm smart. I just can't see, and I don't want to admit it because then I'll be a 4 eyes. And yeah,
oh no,
I got it eventually. Grade 3, I was smarter, but yeah.
Well, for me, I cheated. I just would always try to go in front of the classroom, but that meant I had to like not be on my Game Boy in front of the teacher. So.
This has been such an amazing reminiscing. Game Boys and iPods and oh God.
I don't care what age I am. I still play those. Like I just have like I just have the more. Yeah. I probably after this I may play some Pokemon on my Switch there because I can. It's my day off. But no, I got mine in grade 9 and like they were light. They were like Nike bendable glasses there, but they had like the little things there. Like 3 months, they broke. I'm like, okay, tape them up, and I'm like, screw it. I couldn't say Arceus Reparo and get that all fixed up there, unfortunately. So, yeah, but thankfully I got away with most of it. Again, like reading off notes. I had a spare class where I would just go and do like catch up on homework or whatever I needed, and that kind of helped me not flunk out of high school and thankfully be on an honor roll. I rolled down. But yeah, definitely like college I had to start wearing them or just wear contacts. Went with contacts, then I got weirdly grossed out from wearing them.
So it took me forever to will myself to touch my eye to put them in. And if I don't overthink it, it's fine. But when you take the time to think about what you're putting in your eye, especially when it breaks and you have to find it. I don't overthink it. I used to cheap out on the contacts and then they would keep breaking in my eye. And I thought, okay, Robyn, this is an investment because trying to find them in your eye is such a horrifying experience. Oh. I
just did disposables for just one day and just throw them out at the end of the night.
That's what a lot of the people are recommending. The optometrists for eye health. The people. There's a couple times I almost had to go to that. Right now.
That's a good combo there.
Yeah, little water, a little caffeine.
Water and caffeine. I just finished my coffee, so I'll definitely have to recaffeinate after this. But no, there's a couple times I had to almost go to the hospital. Then, like in the car, like, oh, it came out. I'm good. And my parents
terrifying.
My parents just give me the dirt, like,
it's scary.
But
also they have so many resources online now. I'm so grateful because I remember there was a time I couldn't find it. and it's like you have to rub your eyelid and find it or something. I don't know. My husband found it because I obviously couldn't read or see.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, how do we get it out? Oh, I don't know why we keep talking about this. It's really grossing me out. Oh, for those of you still listening, I apologize. That is gross. They're not all terrible if you get decent.
These are real topics for both of us here too, as well. So I appreciate at least being able to talk to you about it. And like, yeah, I need to like get new prescriptions there, but like throughout this pandemic, I have been able to wear my glasses to work, as like obviously if I do, they just fog up right away. So I'm like,
I know. I wore them this morning because my eyes just weren't having life. They were not awake. And I'm going for a little walk outside. I'm like, oh, yes, this is why I don't wear my glasses. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's tough right now. I'm like, I can't wait to the day where we can have the option to take off the mask there. So like, my glasses would be like,
You know what's so interesting though? I almost think I might keep wearing a mask during certain times of the year.
Oh, yeah.
It's so interesting because you're able to study when I normally would get sick. You know, I normally get, okay, this is when I'm out for the week and I have laryngitis or something. I'm like, oh, I guess we skipped February, laryngitis. This is weird. And April, no laryngitis. Although that also could be because I would sing a lot in those months. So maybe not related to the mask. It's not, honestly, there's a lot of outstanding variables, outliers that do affect the single person research study that is me. So never mind that thought. Never mind that. As I'm talking, I'm like, no, I don't think it's related to the mask yet.
You do make a point there. Like I've only had like one little scare, and I was like, when I was like feeling like really like coughing and sniffy, but like I get allergies there like around this time.
And so I always forget the allergies. I'm like, yes. Oh yeah, that's a thing. No matter if it's COVID or not, it's a change of season. Allergies are real. I'm like, oh yes, okay. It's okay that I have to blow my nose. Cool.
And like this past week, this past Sunday, I was performing at this like online virtual concert, and like the week before, I was just having these coughs. I'm like, oh shit, and it was like a dry cough, and I was panicking. I was looking, I'm like, oh god, this could be a COVID related thing. But I'm like, but I also like realized like, oh yeah, you also do have dry coughs around this time. And then Emily, she gave me like a Benadryl, and then that helped. And then I was completely fine the next day. I'm like, oh, I just needed that. Who would have thunk? And,
the hypochondriacs in all of us are coming out a lot more and more.
But like, again, just even when we have that option, I'm gonna, like you said, I'm gonna do the exact same thing. Just like, okay, I know I'm glad I had the option to take it off, but like I can keep it on like if I go on a walk, if I don't need my glasses, or heck, I might even still keep it on at work for a little while longer till like I feel. Yeah, exactly. I just gotten used to it. I gotten the most compliments about my eyes than I've ever had in my entire life. So I'm like,
you look at people's eyes more now. That is very true. But the weirdest thing is when I'm chatting with someone I've never really seen or met, and then for whatever reason they have to take off their mask. I go, that's your face? That's so weird. It's because this part of people's faces really, you can't necessarily gauge just based on their eyes. And
no, you can't.
I'm always surprised. In my head, I picture just by seeing their eyes, I'm like, this is what your face will look like. And then there's the big reveal, and it's like, what? No. Are you sure you look that way? I don't say that to them. I think that in my head, but probably my eyes give me away. 'Cause I'm like,
Exactly. And like at the restaurant I work at, we hired like a couple of people a couple of months ago. And then like one day, like in the break room there, when they were eating lunch there, I thought it was a complete stranger at one point. Then I saw there was like, oh, okay. That's who you are. Okay. It was weird. It was scary, but like, okay, it's like, and it's weird. Like I meet people for the first time like this. It's bizarre.
Especially if someone were to change their hair, and I don't really remember just the eyes, right? There's the hairstyle and not necessarily the face shape because you can't always make that out. So if their hair's changed and I don't know, they change their eye color somehow, it's like I've never met you.
Yeah, it's a completely brand new person. It's like, who are you? I'm like, oh, Tom, you totally look different.
Well, and but you can recognize the voice, so they have to
Mhm.
say something. But
Yeah.
then it's still, I know this voice. This doesn't match with the face. Hang on, let me tell my brain we have to recalibrate. Okay, we're good. We move on from here. Nice to meet you officially, Tom. Hello.
Yes. Officially, Tom. It's always a Tom.
It's always Tom. When in doubt, it's Tom.
When in doubt. Yeah.
Mike, I've kept you. I usually say it's an hour, and then I struggle with stopping the chats because I love chatting with people.
Hey,
But
this has been pleasant there. We've only chatted a couple times there, and I wanted to actually have a proper chat with you, and this is a cool opportunity to do that. So, if anything, thank you so much for creating this wonderful platform, this little thing you've created, and having me be part of it. And
of course.
yeah, reminisce about our times and chat about a lot of our interests there. So I really appreciate that, Robyn. So thank you.
Oh, my pleasure, Mike. It was great having you. You are now welcome to the Window Chat family. I've never
Yes.
said that before, and I don't know if I'll
Yes.
say it again. Yeah.
Finally.
You've made it when you're a guest on the Window Chat. So
I felt like I've truly made it today there. Thank you, Robyn, for making me feel accepted.
of course, that's what I do. That's what I do. I'll try and tag everything that you do or promote accordingly. If I miss
Okay.
anything, please let me know. But there's so many. This is great. I really
No,
enjoyed
you've
chatting with
covered
you.
you covered a lot, and I didn't expect that, and you blew it out of the water. So well done.
Well,
So
thank you. The interview struggles are real because I'm like, you know what? We're just going to casually chat, and I think things will come up. But I know not everyone, sometimes people need talking points, and you didn't. So I thought, cool, let's see what happens.
no,
It was great.
well, and the best one is just when it feels like a conversation to me is when an interview just is a casual conversation, because that's what it is. You bring up a couple points, a couple talking points, but in the end, it's just two people chatting, and this is what it feels like. So, well done. No, I love this.
Thank you. I really did enjoy chatting with you, catching up, and I guess having probably the longest conversation we've ever had together.
Yeah, ever. No, this is the longest there.
I guess it is.
Yeah, once this is all over there, let's actually properly get together and do a proper hangout or something like that.
I love it. And let me know if you do what's it called? If you end up doing another virtual show with Out There.
Yes.
I'll try and promote as best I can. I'm still learning, but yeah, gotta support
Absolutely,
you.
no.
I'm
I'll definitely forward it to you if I ever do.
There was an online cabaret. Oh dear, is it still there? I'll watch it.
The one that I did, or the one I was in this past week?
The one you did didn't you say you did one online for your company, or was I confused with that?
Yeah, I have the recording of it somewhere. It's not on my pages yet, but I need to find it there and then.
Gotta do it.
Yeah, but I'm in the midst of working on a second one there, so stay tuned for that.
Okay.
Once I find out more details about it, I will let you know. Heck, maybe a full-length musical coming your way online?
Maybe we should check it out. Okay. Follow Mike for more info. Okay. This is me.
And Out There Theater
just
Company on Instagram. What? Who said that?
Oh, you do? Oh, okay. I will tag.
I totally, honestly, I just remember, I need to get active on that
great.
page.
I gotta tag.
Some of my social medias.
Boy. Just tag everything. There we go.
Everything. And follow my dog's account. No, I don't have a dog. Not yet.
No, that was just very much, actually. That was very convincing. I'm like, okay.
Acting. No. Acting or both. Oh, I almost swore. I'm not sure if I can swear, but I'm not going to swear. But yes.
You were doing great. No, but honestly, there is no restrictions, which is kind of alarming, but whatever.
Okay,
say what you want. But honestly, I just promote it everywhere. So if you don't want to say a swear word as I promote everywhere.
I'll try to keep it as PG as best as I can there, for the most part.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. Robyn, this was fantastic. I really appreciate this chat. And keep me up to date with everything you do too as well.
Oh gosh, sure.
Both ways too.
It's usually just this and Clubhouse. But yes, I'll let you know if anything else more exciting comes up.
No, absolutely. And everyone's keep following Window Chats with Robyn. We need to do more of this and see it with all the amazing artists that she interviews and all the wonderful people. Check it out. If you haven't, if you're coming from my life, go follow Robyn both on her Window Chats with Robyn and her personal profile herself. Boom. World tour.
You're good at this. You're good at the promotion. I'm like, I don't know if it pleases you. Add a follow. I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm just trying.
We're here. We do stuff. Follow, don't follow. I don't know. But yes, let's get back to Mike because I try and end it and then I get on a ramble. So thank you so much for doing this and very much enjoyed the catch up and keep being awesome. Okay, cool.
You too as well. Thank you so much, Robyn.
Bye.
Bye now. You have a good day.
You too.
Bye.